My name is Ron Blanchard, and I work at the new Bern Clinic for Carolina Therapy Connections. And one of the things that I do here that I'm really passionate about is EMDR, which means eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which was created by a woman named Francine Shapiro. She's now deceased. It involves dealing with traumatic memories and altering those memories so that they do not disturb the person, cause the person distress in their life, in the present. So we're going back to the past to change the present. Um, Francine discovered this. She used bilateral stimulation. She took her hand and she would move it in front of the patient's eyes like this, uh, and work with traumatic memory and change it so that that memory, all of the powerful negative emotions were taken out of the memory, and then it could be filed like if you look at it like a computer, it goes into short-term memory, but because it's damaged, it can't go to the hard drive. So all of the negative, powerful emotions are taken out of it, goes to the hard drive. Does not loop. Does like looping is called flashbacks. Those don't happen anymore. Um, well, somebody blind came in. Obviously, you can't do this. So then they were trying to decide, can we do bilateral stimulation any other way and do this? And they tried it, and this is on a group of Vietnam veteran uh, combat uh, people with PTSD. So they tried it. They tried it like this. They tried it on the knees, and it worked. So any type of bilateral stimulation works. Um, why do we use bilateral stimulation? Bilateral stimulation is a distraction for that part of the brain, let's say the left side, that contains memories. This is the very loud part of the brain that is thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, uh, doctor's appointments, children going to a new school, my mom is sick, everything. It's very noisy. And this part of the brain actually is where your thinking voice comes from. The right hemisphere has no voice. Consequently, it doesn't get heard from, and that's where the traumas are. So, bilateral stimulation causes a distraction to this other part of the brain that's very curious about the distraction. So, while it's occupied trying to figure out or looking at the distraction, then we can work on that part of the brain that has the traumatic memories in it. Um, I use different methods. Like I have, these are called pulsers and they vibrate right, left, right, left. I can speed them up, I can intensify them. That's just one method I use to for bilateral stimulation. Um, it's really powerful. It doesn't take a long time, like people will be in um, therapy for 2 years. This doesn't take that long. It might happen in the fourth session that we actually work with the trauma um, and have a successful session. And what does that look like? Um, an adult whose father physically and emotionally abused him thought of himself as I'm no good. I'm not a good person. Um, working with EMDR, um, during EMDR, he actually talked to himself. His adult self talked to himself as a child. He said, "You're a good boy. It's not your fault." And at the end, he actually sat up in his chair and he said, "It's gone. It's gone." So he never, he doesn't think of himself that way anymore. Another time I was working with a Marine who felt responsible for the death of another Marine in a combat situation. At the end of that session, he was bent over like this, and all of a sudden, he realized, I didn't cause it. I'm not responsible for it. And 12 years of guilt were gone. And that will never return to haunt him. And so those are the kind of things that come from EMDR. If you're interested in EMDR, just give us a call. Let us know you're interested, and we'll set up an appointment, and we'll go to work.